What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at you today with an update on my Endymion deck profile as the version of Mythical Endymion. Yes, I've gone back into the Mythical Beasts package because when I saw that Upstart came to 3, I'm like, and when I saw Upstart came to 3 and Judgment came to 3, I was like, originally I was like, okay, I can go full Spellbook in this. So I drafted that out, tried it. Works pretty much the same. Unfortunately, people have just got to the point of being intelligent and just be like, okay, punch over the Jowgen, punch over the Jowgen, bait your stuff, can you keep going as normal? So yeah, it kind of didn't really work out as well. So now I've gone back into the Mythical Beast version, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm also now in the position that I finally grinded through enough gems and CCP. I've also got this version built on Master Duel as well, and I'm currently using it. I've essentially grinded through most of gold rank in about 2 days. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving being back on this deck. So, and guys, before I actually get into the detailed bit of the profile, I do want to make a quick apology in regards to this deck. I took a look at my deck profiles on my channel. I haven't actually done an Endymion-based update in about a year. Which, despite this being my main deck, I just apparently haven't been updating it. So for that, guys, I am truly sorry that I haven't done so. But as you guys did see from some of my other deck profiles, I was testing around with lots of different decks throughout the year. And so, because frankly, Endymion was kind of in the position it really couldn't contend with the meta. So I did just take a bit of a break from it. But now, Upstart's at 3. Servant came back to 3 last year. Pretty much all our best stuff is fine. Yes, Troll's kind of still a bit in the format, but I'm just gonna deal with that. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this profile. Okay, guys, so starting the profile off with the Endymion side of it, as always. So the Endymion engine has changed a slight bit since my previous update. So I'm now on standard 3 Mighty Master, 3 Servant, pretty standard, main starter, main beat stick, and the main reason you win. Then the other variations I've gone now are 3 Magister, 1 Reflection, and 3 Spellbook Mastery. So actually, Spellbook Mastery, pretty standard. Standard at 3 because it's just Searcher. A Reflection at 1, I've seen a lot of people actually cutting Reflection, but I still quite like it, so I've kept it in. For those questioning why I'm now at the point that I've bumped Magister to 3, I found by when you play with the Mythical Beast engine, because of Baby Jackal and how easy it is to just tutor out Mythical Beasts from your deck, I find if say I just go normal summon Baby Jackal, get 3 spell counters, tribute it off into the extra, tribute it off, summon Jackal King. If I can set up Magister as well, I can go Magister effect, remove 3, summon itself, summon back Jackal, remove another 3 counters, summon out another Jackal King, summon out another Jackal King. So Magister at 3 just makes it a lot easier to help tutor out the Jackal King, which I'm finding is huge at the moment in Disruption. And next, moving into the Mythical Beasts. So for the Mythical Beast engine, I'm playing 2 Master Cerberus, 3 Jackal King, 2 Jackal, 1 Garuda, 1 Basilisk, 3 Mythical Institution, and old card in Mythical Beast, but new for me in the deck. 2 Mythical Bestiary. So before I get into all these, quickly go through my ratios. 2 Master Cerberus as actual the Searcher. I opted to cut it to 2 just to prevent like to prevent things like dead hands and everyone knows he is like the worst thing to get ashed in the deck. So just kind of wanted to reduce the chances of bricking too much with Cerberus. Pumped Jackal King up to 3, which I do not recall the time I've ever actually played Jackal King at 3 except in pure Mythical Beast. But I pumped it to 3 just as I kind of explained before, like being able to monster negate, like setting up monster negates is just too good right now. So pumped it up to 3. Then two Jackal just as a way to like easily naturally tutor out Jackal King, or an additional Cerberus if I need to banish, if I want to just try and banish something. Its Pendulum effect's also pretty useful early game for setting up in tandem with Mythical Institution. And then one of each of Basilisk and Garuda. Garuda naturally pretty much any person using the Mythical Beast engine would play one of this, because it's the only Mythical Beast in which both the Pendulum and Monster effect are hard once per turn. So I like having it so naturally it's pretty useful just as a back row snipe if you need it, but the primarily good use of it is its monster effect of if your opponent summons something, remove 3, spec itself, bounce it back to the hand. And then Basilisk I quite like, because typically when I'm in the position of naturally most people know when you open the Cerberus, you go Cerberus, search Jackal King, pop, bring back the Cerberus. That gives you 1/2 of a potential link summon that you're going to do. However, because I'm now at the point of I pump Jackal King to 3, it's quite easy for me to have the Jackal King available. So I might choose. So if I've got, say, Jackal King and Cerberus, I might go Cerberus and scale, pop, search the Basilisk, scale Basilisk, pop, shuffle back the Cerberus, draw 1, Jackal King, summon at Basilisk. If I've got at least 3 counters on my field, effect, remove 3, add back the Jackal King add Jackal King back to hand, and then I can pendulum summon it out later. And as for the reason I'm playing the Bestiary, you guys, so when I was checking out builds of going back into Mythical Beasts, I saw somebody playing this for one of the main reasons of using it with Servant. Because guys, most opponents who know how Endymion works, they know one of the things they might do is if they're gonna ash you, the main thing they would probably ash is probably the Spell Power Mastery. But if you've found a way to set up without using it, then the thing they're probably going to go for is the Servant is ashing the Servant to block you from summoning out of the deck. But that's where Bestiary comes in handy, because if you attempt a Servant and it gets stopped by an ash, naturally you've got to set counters up again. If you just play the one Bestiary, targets Servant, you mill 2, this gets 2 spell counters on resolution, puts it straight back at the 3rd, and then you can just do Servant again, because the Pendulum effect is not once per turn. The other advantage I find of Bestiary is because Pendulum is a deck that would very easily get hit by things like Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm. If you find you don't need it for setting up, you can always set it in the back row. If your opponent then goes Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, you can chain the Bestiary to put some spell counters on something, and then when it gets popped on the resolution, Bestiary's secondary effect kicks in, which is if it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can summon any monster from your deck that can hold spell counters, and you can put up to 2 spell counters on it. So it's just a great card that can benefit off of destruction. Next, going into the kind of draw package of the deck, playing 1 Magician of Prophecy, 1 Spellbook of Secrets, and 1 Spellbook of Knowledge. I dropped the engine down to 1 since I'm not on a massive Spellbook version anymore, and since I'm not playing Magician's Souls in my build, I don't really feel the need that I need the additional secrets. So kind of just a straight engine in that for draw power. Then other draw cards, two pot of Desires, I've tended to go back and forth about this card for a while, but since I'm now back into the Mythical Beast version and I'm playing so many duplicates of cards, I'm perfectly fine with it now. And then the last draw card. 3 upstart goblin. 3 easy draws, 3 easy spell counters. And then last cards of the deck, essentially the one-ofs. So one instant fusion for naturally Millenniumize to protect from hand traps. Call by the Grave, protect from hand traps. Then terraforming for targets I'm playing, which are two Citadel. Pump Citadel up with 2 because I find with the Mythical Beast version it's kind of just too easy to just like keep all your spell counters there. So that's it for the main deck. So guys, that's it for the main deck. Moving on into the extra deck, playing one copy of Artemis. So I understand that the original purpose of people were doing this was because of the Magician's Restage engine. However, I find the other advantage of Artemis is, since most of your monsters are is if you get into the bad position that you've opened the knowledge, you could just summon one of your small pendulum, summon one of your low-level pendulums, link it off into Artemis, and then Artemis is something you can sack off the knowledge to draw your 2 cards. One Crowley. Naturally Crowley is just very good for getting out one of your spellbooks, and then link climbing into your Selene. I'm currently on two copies of Selene. One which you typically summon off the Crowley. One which you will potentially just use and then one which is typically just a backup, just in case something happens to the first one. Which I also find is still pretty easy to go into with some of the other stuff in my extra deck, which I'll get to. But, yeah. The one Millenniumize, as I said, has my instant fusion target and ability to block hand traps. Then the other advantage is, since instant fusion does count as a fusion summon, you could bring it back with Selene if you felt like it. One access code. Do you guys really need me to explain access code? I don't think I do. Then I'm also playing one Appaloosa, pretty useful as another way of doing monster negates. And because I also find with the Mythical Beast, it's also quite a lot easier to just generate a lot of monsters. Then next 2 Charmers, playing one Dark Charmer, and since I'm back with the Mythical Beasts, playing one Light Charmer as well. So these are just nice backup options of being, if you've used up the Crowley, to just be able to turbo out of Selene and potentially rob something really nice from your opponent. Then one IP. I don't use her as frequently as I used to, but sometimes she still comes up as being helpful. One Underworld Goddess. Again, kind of a bit more situational, but sometimes there is a situation where your opponent's got a big boss monster that you can't do anything to, so that's just a way of getting around it. One Relinquished Anima. Sometimes your opponent is foolish enough to put something in front of the extra monster zone, and Jackal. And Jackal is a searchable level 1. Can't argue with that. So that's it for my Link monsters, and then for the remainder of the extra deck is a one-off of each of the other summoning methods. So one Absolute is my Xyz for the purpose of summoning the one other fusion Vortex, which naturally is an Omni Negate by shuffling back a pendulum in your extra deck. And last card in my extra deck, which I really like the idea of playing this. One copy of Chaos Angel. So when I was checking out builds, I saw a person playing this, and I'm like, Synchro and Endymion. Read through the effect. I'm like, tuner and a non-tuner light or tuner and a non-tuner light or dark. But for a synchro summon, you can treat a light or dark monster as the tuner. So for this, in regards of how you bring it out in this deck. So obviously your level 6 is Jackal King, and then for the other 4 levels, you can use either Basilisk or Garuda, which is the other advantage of playing them. And then by combining those into Chaos Angel, it gets the full benefits of its effect. Because you summoned it with a dark, your monsters can't be destroyed in battle. Because you summoned it with a light, Chaos Angel is unaffected by the activated effects of your opponent's monsters. So yeah, which is pretty nice. And then also the other thing I like about Chaos Angel is on summon, you just get to banish a card. Non-targeting. Pretty nice. Also, you can't deny, guys, 3,500 attack. You can't really argue with that. And I think, frankly, the other reason I liked the idea of trying Chaos Angel in the build is because of the nostalgia. Because for me, nostalgia of going back into the days of when I was on Pendulum Edition / Nirvana High Paladin spam. So it's not exactly like Pendulum is used to cheating out synchro monsters without using tuners. So, kind of one of the reasons I wanted to give it a go. And so far, I'm absolutely loving this. I'm absolutely loving this card. Really takes my opponents by surprise on Master Duel. So that's it for the extra. Moving into my side deck. So, playing two copies of Pancratops. I'm liking it back at 2. So naturally, Pancratops. It's just easy thing to just be special summon. Really good going second, but going first because it's within Pendulum summon range. Pretty good. Pretty useful like that, or just useful as trying to set up for a link play. Yeah, don't really need to go too much into. Next, couple more one-offs that a couple of the main one-offs I'm playing in my side. 1 Feather Duster, 1 Necro Valley, 1 Secret Village, and 1 Triple Tactics Thrust. So, Feather Duster, obviously, wipe out back row. Necro Valley, I'm finding, is killing so much stuff in the meta right now, so brought that back in. And Secret Village typically deals with the stuff that Necro Valley can't. And moved Thrust into the side, because just as extra ways of getting into the Feather Duster and some other stuff on my side. Through talents, move this into the side to be able to have enough space for everything I was trying to play. Because typically, guys, as much as I like having tactics in the main, since I'm now in the position that, as I said, I'm not playing souls, sometimes if my opponent's just not hand trapping me, then it's just a dead card in my hand. And if I don't have the souls, then it's even more of a dead card in my hands. Through Cosmic Cyclone, I've noticed Anti-Spell Fragrance has made a bit of a resurgence recently, so I just need to be able to out that, and this is the best thing I've got that can do that. And then, last card in my side deck, guys. Before you start roasting me, please hear me out as I explain why I'm playing this. 3 copies of Ojama Trio. So, some of you might be I get it. Some of you might be thinking, oh, Webbers, you have to deal with a lot of Burning Abyss at your locals. No, I don't. I'm playing this for a different reason. So, for those wondering, well, what are those reasons? 3 reasons. Those reasons being Fenrir, Lightning Storm, evenly matched. This card stops all 3 of them. By doing Ojama Trio, you put a monster on your opponent's field so they can't special summon Fenrir. Because they now have cards on their field, they can't activate evenly matched from their hand, and because tokens classify as face-up cards, your opponent can't hit you with a Lightning Storm. So, So when I was sorting out my side deck, I think the main thing in my head was I need a way to counter evenly matched, because that's probably one of the main things that completely just shuts me down from playing. So I tried to look through my stuff to see what the best thing I had to do so was, and apparently I didn't have any solemn judgments anymore, so this was just probably the best substitute I had. But I like that it's got a bit more versatility. I do like it's got a bit of versatility in things that it can stop. So yeah, as I said, really good against those three situations. The downside is if you're against a sprite player and they're going to evenly match you. Naturally, you'd probably do that in the battle phase when they declare battle phase. You go, start a battle phase, Ojama Trio, put 3 on their board. That stops the evenly match. Unfortunately, because you're against a sprite player, you've also just given them 3 free level 2 materials to use. But still. So, for the moment, guys, this is just a temporary measures. I've already got a card I'm planning to replace it with. That card is the new Iron Thunder that just got released in Phantom Nightmare. So I kind of really like the idea of this. I really like the idea of this counter trap because frankly it's just an Omni-Negate. Yes, I could just play Judgment, and yes, I could probably just play Judgment instead. But I think for me, what I like about Iron Thunder in comparison to Judgment is that Judgment stops spell card, trap card, or the inherent summon of a monster. Iron Thunder is spell, trap, or a monster effect activated on the field. Which I think, for the format we're going into, I think I'd rather be able to stop the monster effects than stopping the summon. And I also kind of like the idea of Iron Thunder's additional effect, which is after it destroys the card, it also destroys any other card in the same column as it. So kind of one of those. So on activation, you stop one card. On the resolution, you can potentially get rid of more. You can potentially get rid of like another 1 to 2 cards depending on where it was activated. But naturally, the downside and risk of playing Iron Thunder is it counts all the columns, which includes your own, so you also have to be a bit wary of where your opponent's putting cards. Because like, if you set something up tremendously and you've got, say, like, Selene in your extra monster zone and a monster underneath it, and your opponent chooses to like try to bait you out with something in that column, and you want to negate it, naturally you're going to lose a lot from that column. But still, I think it's going to be quite interesting. Okay guys, so that was the profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below on what you thought about it, or maybe any other suggestions you've got for improvements or any questions you have for me about the deck. We'll try and make sure if I make any changes to this deck, the next update will not be 1 year from now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.